What's up, Totem Pole Nation? This is Lambo's World of Sports featuring Matt Patt. Lambo is sick today, so we will be going through the Miami recruiting class video together, and he will probably be watching from home. So before we get started, guys, I want to just bring it up, like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Also, you can go get some cool merch like this in the shop. So without further ado, we're going to get into the 13th ranked recruiting class of the Miami Hurricanes. They have 23 commits so far, 9 4-stars and 14 3-stars. We're going to start with getting into their top 5 guys. First on the list, we have 4-star athlete Zaquan Patterson. He's 6 foot, 185. From Chaminade Madonna Prep in Hollywood, Florida. He's a 53rd ranked player in the country, 5th ranked athlete, and the 7th ranked player in Florida. He primarily plays safety. He's hard hitting, has closing speed, and good pursuit to finish tackles. So he plays on the offensive side of the ball as well, but most likely he'll be at the safety spot. Next up, we have a 4-star edge that goes by Marquise Lightfoot. He is 6'5", 220 from Kenwood Academy in Chicago, Illinois. He's the 58th player in the country, the 6th ranked edge, and the 3rd ranked player out of the state of Illinois. He's definitely a little bit on the light side for a D end. You could see a move to linebacker happen, but also you go to Miami, you have all those resources. He's definitely going to get bulked up a little bit. So regardless how he gets used, he's definitely still going to be a dog. Next up, going to the offensive side of the ball, we have a wide receiver here, 4-star Nye Carr. He's 5'11", 170 from Colquitt County High School in Moultrie, Georgia. He's the 62nd player in the country, 12th ranked wide receiver, and the 10th ranked player in the state of Georgia. Just watching his tape, he's a good route runner, and he shows bursts of breakaway speed when he needs to, but the route running really was what impressed me. Next on the list, probably also going to be a wide receiver, we have a 4-star athlete that goes by the name of Josiah, Trader. I'm going to just call him Josh. Josh Trader, 6'1", 175 from Chaminade Madonna Prep in Hollywood, Florida as well. 68th player in the country, 3rd ranked athlete, and the 10th ranked player in the state of Florida. Like I said, he's an athlete, but most likely he will be at wide receiver for Miami next year. And rounding out their top 5 of recruits is a 4-star running back, Kevin Riley. He's 5'11", 195. He's from Tuscaloosa County High School in Northport, Alabama. 112th ranked player in the country, 5th ranked running back, and the 9th ranked player in the state of Alabama. So like I do in every single recruiting trail video that we've done so far, I like to highlight the guys within their home state. And like I mentioned with the Florida and Florida State video, Florida's in it's a weird spot when it comes to recruiting because it's so deep in talent, and schools from all over the country pick up the top guys from there. So no one really has a grasp on it. Obviously, I mentioned Zaquan and Josh are 2 top 10 players from Florida that are in this class at the safety and then at the wide receiver. But I'm going to get into 2 other guys that are, top of what Miami has gotten from their home state of Florida, starting with a wide receiver here in Chance Robinson. He's 6'1.5", 190. He's from St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's 165th nationally. He's the 27th wide receiver, and he is the 20th ranked player in Florida. And then also they have a 4-star D lineman right here by the name of Artavius Jones. He's 6'3", 280. He's from Bluntstown High School in Bluntstown, Florida. 226th nationally, 30th D-line, and 23rd player in the state of Florida. They also have 4 top 25 guys, like I've mentioned them, from Florida, and then the next best guy they have is the 47th ranked player in the state. So, I say it in other videos all the time, and especially with Florida teams, you've got to be able to hammer your home state and get some of those top guys, not let them go to big schools across the country, especially when you're Miami. I don't really see. I mean, obviously, a kid is going to go where the kid wants to go, but I don't see how, as a school like Miami, with all the resources and the mantra that comes with that name, I don't see how you wouldn't be getting more guys from your home state, and maybe they make some more efforts by the end of the class, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I'm going to get into guys that they're currently in recruiting battles for next. A 5-star D lineman with LJ McCray. He's 6'6", 260 from Mainland High School in Daytona Beach, Florida. He's the 6th ranked nationally player, 2nd D lineman, and the 3rd ranked player in the state of Florida. He took an unofficial visit to Miami in early September, but still battling with Florida State, Auburn, and Georgia. So that one's going to be a tight contest to win, especially, 6th player ranked in the country. That's going to take some effort for sure in the recruiting field. Next, 4-star safety, Xavier Mincy. He's 6'3", 180. He's also from Mainland High School in Daytona Beach. He's a 69th ranked player nationally, 6th safety, and the 11th ranked player in the state of Florida. His crystal ball projection is for Florida. We've seen those, been wrong plenty of times. And he also took an unofficial to Miami in early September, which was his most recent visit as of yet. Still fighting with the same schools in Florida and Florida State. Luckily, they don't have Georgia as one of the people that they're fighting for in this battle. And then rounding out these guys that I think are notable that they're still targeting is a 4-star edge in Booker Pickett Jr. He's 6'3", 205. Again, like I mentioned earlier, 205 coming off the edge, a little light, but it wouldn't surprise me if he plays a little at linebacker or if they just beef him up down there in Miami. He's from Wharton High School from Tampa, 240th nationally ranked player, 19th edge, and the 26th player in Florida. The last visit he took was also to Miami, but they're battling with top guys like FSU, Ohio State, Georgia, and South Carolina snuck in there too. But I think we know those top dogs are really who you're competing with when it comes to top guys like this. And then just, looking at their depth chart and looking at the guys they're bringing in, they have 2 seniors on the interior O-line, and they're bringing in 4 O-linemen. The issue is, they're bringing in 4 3-star O-linemen, and that is the issue. These aren't guys that are going to make immediate impacts. They're bringing in 1 interior O-lineman and 3 tackles. And, they have some depth behind them. They have a sophomore that's been out all year for an injury, so I'm assuming that that'll be a red shirt because he hasn't taken one yet in Jonathan Dennis. But the O-line is definitely going to be a project for the next few years if they can't bring in better prospects than what they are in this class, just because of it's mainly led by upperclassmen. Next group was the wide receiver group. It has a mix of youth, but all the starters are juniors. There are some seniors as well. In the depth chart, they're bringing in 3 4-star wide receivers, though, so all those gaps are going to be filled pretty well, pretty early, I would say. There's plenty of depth at tight end, but they're bringing in a top-rated tight end in this class, and then they also have their leader tight end in Cam McCormick. He is leaving this year as well. Going to the other side of the ball, the linebacker core is old. They are old men. It is all upperclassmen, majority seniors. But they are bringing in, like I mentioned, a 4-star linebacker and then 1 3-star linebacker. So depth-wise, it'll fill some gaps, but that's also a position of emphasis that they're going to have to hit in, by the end of this cycle or in the next class in 2025. And then lastly, I noted down that their secondary is also majority upperclassmen. They're, you know, that's the best way to have your secondary, I believe, is guys that have seen and played a lot of football, and that puts you in the best position to win. Obviously, Miami's having an up year in comparison to some of the seasons they've put in on display in the past. That coming from a Virginia Tech fan doesn't mean as much because we know what's going on over here in Blacksburg. But like I said, their secondary is majority upperclassmen. And they're also bringing in a 4-star cornerback. They're bringing in a safety. And then they're also bringing in 4 3-star cornerbacks. So they're adding depth. They're adding guys. How many of those guys are going to be able to make an impact in the first couple years? I don't know. Maybe just a couple of them. But I do think that as a whole, I like what I'm seeing from Florida here. I mean, excuse me, Miami, especially within the state of Florida. But being a 13th ranked class is nothing to, look away from or anything like that. They're doing good things to get the program back to, what people know Miami as. They're not there yet. You would think, being one of the most popular schools in the country and also being in Miami of all places, that they would sneak a couple 5-stars in there. But, another, if they put a good season up here, there's no doubt in my mind that they grab a few in the 2025 class. But that is all for the 2024 Miami football recruiting class dive. Coming up in like 5 minutes, going to be going into the LSU recruiting class. So make sure you either stick around on the page or hop in whenever you want. Like I said at the beginning, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for the support for Totem Pole Nation. Thank you, Sideline Sports Nation, for giving me the platform. And Lambo, get well soon, brother.